Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the recent controversy that has erupted in the Tamil Nadu Medical College, where instead of Hippocratic Oath, Charak Sapath had been used by the students. So let us try to understand that what is Charak Sapath, what is Hippocratic Oath, and what this whole controversy is all about. So first of all, the context in which we are discussing today's issue is because recently a dean in the Tamil Nadu Madurai Medical College of Tamil Nadu has been removed on Sunday after a batch of new students were administered an oath in Sanskrit instead of normal like tradition of English, and also the oath was attributed to the Indian sage, that is Maharshi Charak, who is believed to be the founder or father of ancient Indian medicine, instead of traditional Hippocratic Oath that is taken in English for a very long period of time. Following this event, which was attended by high profile persons like Tamil Nadu Finance Minister as well as Commercial Taxes Minister, the Dean Dr. A. Ratinavel has been replaced and is placed on the waiting list with no information that where his next posting was going to be. So let us try to understand what the controversy is all about. So controversy began when the National Medical Commission came into existence, replacing the earlier Medical Council of India, and the National Medical Commission deals with the regulation as well as accreditation of the medical colleges and institutions in India. So when National Medical Commissions came into existence, it decided and actually it put out a circular in which it said that the new students that are being admitted to the medical universities, instead of taking Hippocratic Oath in English, should take a Charak Oath in the Sanskrit language. This circular of National Medical Commission and this decision was protested against by the Indian Medical Association, which is association of all the medical practitioners of India. So the representative of IMA actually has met with the Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia. Following the meeting, the Health Minister assured IMA representatives that this decision of NMC is not binding, it is optional in nature. However, recently NMC has published a circular called as Implementation of New Competency-Based Medical Education for Undergraduate Course Curriculum, and in this particular circular NMC again has emphasized that instead of traditional Hippocratic Oath in English, the students, newly admitted students, should take Charak Oath or Charak Sapath in the Sanskrit language. So let us first try to understand what is Hippocratic Oath. So Hippocratic Oath associates with a person called as Hippocrates. Hippocrates was an ancient physician who belonged to the country currently Greece and was born on the island of Kos. He survived during the period of 4th to 5th century BC, that is also called as classical period. Due to his immense contribution in the field of medical science, he is also considered as the father of modern medicine, and he also have written around 70 books on the medicine that is called as the Corpus Hippocraticum. The Hippocratic Oath now relates with the charter of ethical principles that every medical professional is expected to follow during his period of, we can say, working, and physicians over the age have sworn this. The main aim and objective of this Hippocratic Oath is to sworn to the physicians or medical professional to uphold in the practice of their profession all the ethical principles that guides their behavior. The ancient Hippocratic Oath, or the literature or the text that is related to the Hippocratic Oath, currently is preserved in the library of the Holy See. Holy See is a place which actually also known as Vatican City. So there almost 1000 years old copy of the Hippocratic Oath is preserved. So first of all, it says that the doctors, they have to take this oath that they will treat all the sick people according to their ability and judgment and not intentionally do any injury or wrong. Also, they will not give poison even if they are asked to do so by anyone to the sick person. Also, in whichever houses they enter, they will ensure that the practical confidentiality of all the things that is going on inside the house is maintained, and whatsoever in the course of practice the doctors hear or see, or even outside their practice in social intercourse, they ought never to be published abroad, that neither they will divulge but consider such things to be holy secrets. So kind of confidentiality, we can say, agreement is, or some sort of doctor-patient confidentiality, the concept that we can trace back to the Hippocratic Oath. Now obviously the question comes that is Hippocratic Oath universally applicable? So we can say the answer is yes or no. Why yes? Because as per, if you look at the guidelines given by the American Medical Association as well as British Medical Association, so their oath which they give to the medical professionals or medical entrants are rooted in the Hippocratic Oath. However, it is not a complete copy or complete produce of the Hippocratic Oath. They draw heavily from the other sources as well. And this we can understand from the point that first in the 19th century, when the Hippocratic Oath was provided or given to the medical professional, medical entrants, since then almost 5 to 6 times the oath has underwent changes. That means it has taken other guiding principles, ethical principles from the other sources as well. Similarly, if you look at the guidelines given by the World Medical Association, they also have or are using modernized versions of the international code outlining physicians' duties toward their patients. So basically what we can say all across the world, that oath itself derives a lot of commonalities from the Hippocratic time or Hippocratic Oath, but they have also included a lot of principles and ethical guidelines that is more relevant in today's or modern days parlance. Now coming to Charak and Charak Samhita, because this is what the whole controversy is, as NMC has given the guidelines that instead of Hippocratic Oath, it should be Charak Sapath that should be taken by the medical entrants. So who is Charak? And Charak Samhita. So Charak is believed to be the ancient Indian physician who is believed to be the founding father of the ancient Indian medicine along with the Susrut. So we have Charak Samhita and the Susrut Samhita. Charak was a general physician while Susrut is believed or was believed to be a surgeon. So Charak Samhita generally we can say is a kind of medical pharmacopoeia and a collection of commentaries and discussions on medical practices that were published somewhere between 1st to 2nd centuries AD. It also discusses about or it also talks about the evolved system of understanding and treating diseases that was in several ways ahead of the Greeks. Hippocrates was a Greek, but still if you try to understand about Charak, his Samhita or Susra Samhita is believed to be several ways ahead of the text or the medical textbook that we have got from the Greeks. Apart from that, it is believed, however, nowadays by many experts that it is unlikely, if you talk about Charak Samhita, it is unlikely to have been the work of a single individual and not all of it is likely to have been written at the same time. That means the compendium of Charak Samhita, obviously some contribution has been made by Charak, but this whole Charak Samhita has been contributed by other writers as well, about who we do not have clear idea about. And if you look at the ancient Indian medical science, on which the Charak Samhita and Susru Samhita is based upon. So their interest in physiology is understood to have drawn from yoga and mysticism. So the whole medical science was largely based on the principles that has been outlined in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra as well as the mysticism of the ancient Indian mystics. Not only that, it is also believed that once Buddhism came into existence and then with the spread of Buddhism, as Buddhism is spread into different countries, the ancient Indian medical science also got enriched by the knowledge it got from the surrounding countries. Apart from that, again, a lot of contribution has also been made by the arrival of Christian missionaries to India in the ancient times, as well as the contact with the Hellenic practitioners of medicine. Hellenic practitioners basically refer to the Greco-Roman practitioners. So these three also have immensely contributed to the ancient Indian medicine science or ancient Indian medical science after yoga and mysticism. Now, what is the Charak Samhita or Charak Sapath that NMC has asked people to take? So first of all, again, this is very similar to the Hippocratic Oath. It also says that the doctor must strive with all their soul for the health of the sick. They should not betray their patient even at the cost of their life. They must not get drunk or commit evil or have evil companions. They should be pleasant in speech and thoughtful, always striving to improve your knowledge. This is something that is in modern day parlance is also referred as the doctor's bedside manner. How a doctor communicates with the patient, that has a very significant bearing on the health and the mental health especially of the patient. Also it says that whenever doctor visits the house of a patient, he should keep in mind that his senses should not divert anywhere but just to the patient and his treatment. Nothing or whatever is happening in the house of the sick man should not be told outside. So again, similar like the Hippocratic Oath talk about the confidence, the ALD, the Charak Samhita also, or Charak Oath, Charak Sapath also talks about the doctor-patient confidentiality, which is also the bedrock of today's modern medicine. Now let us talk about the important points, what has been mentioned in the Charak Samhita, so we can also get the essence of the ancient Indian medical practice. So it has been outlined by a famous historian, Jayanagar, who has written a book called On Hinduism, The Hindus. So while writing his book, she has mentioned that if you look at the Charak Samhita, there has been a discussion between various medical professionals of that time, and they were discussing that what is the root cause of the disease of any human being. So one of the medical practitioners, or sage we can say, ancient sage that time, he has mentioned that the main or root cause of the human misery is the material elements. Material elements here refers to as the ancient Indian belief that the whole human body is made up of 5 different elements, that is the earth, then we have air, then we have sky, then we have water, and then we have fire. So it is these material elements that contribute or affect the physique of any person. The second sage contracts, and he says that it is not the material elements, but it is the concept of soul that is responsible for the well-being, the physical as well as mental well-being of any particular individual. The third sage says that it is not the soul or material concept, material elements, but it is the mind that actually is responsible for the physical and mental well-being of an individual. And if mind is suffering from a lot of thoughts or some sort of so if the mind is suffering from some evil thought or some irrational thoughts, that can also affect the physical well-being of the person. Another counterpoint is that it is not the mind, soul or material elements, but it is the rasa. Rasa basically refers to the physical qualities of an individual that decides his or her health status. At the same time, the other sage have counteracted all these 4 points, and he has said that the human health or human well-being is the product of karma. Whatever he or she has done in his life, that is going to affect his health also, both physical and mental. So what we can see from here, that lot of different sages are there during the time of Charak, who has given different viewpoints regarding the health and physical mental well-being of an individual. Apart from that, what else is mentioned? So ancient Indian system of medicine basically focuses on 3 things. It says that the whole physique or whole health of an individual is driven by 3 different kind of concepts. The first is wind, second is bile or gall, and third is mucus or phlegm. So it is these 3 dosas, as is called, or the balance of these 3 gunas that actually determines the overall health of an individual. Now these 3 dosas is also believed to be associated with 3 different gunas or qualities of an individual. What are these 3 different qualities? First is Sattva-gun, also called as virtue or lucidity. Second is Rajogun or Rajasgun, also refers to passion or energy of an individual. And third is Tamasgun, that refers to dullness or torpor of an individual. So depending on the balance of these 3, wind, bile and mucus, the virtue, passion and dullness, all these qualities also varies between individuals. Some can be very high in dullness, some can be very low in passion, some can be very low in virtue, and vice versa. And apart from that, the ancient Indian system of medicine, as written in Charak Samhita, also mentions that there are 5 winds that controls the overall life of an individual, overall health and physical well-being of an individual. What are these 5 winds? First is called as Udana winds. Now Udana winds refer to the wind that is released from the throat, because these winds are responsible for the speech and speech related problems and speech related disorder. Second is something that is called as Pranavayu or Prana winds. Prana winds refer to the winds that refers to the heart. So it basically is related with what we can say is the overall general life of an individual. Third is Saman wind. Saman wind refers to the wind from the stomach, which is related to the digestion process. Fourth is Apan wind. Apan wind relates to abdomen, which is responsible for excretion and procreation process. And in last we have a Vyana wind. Vyana wind refers to the whole body system, whole circulatory system of blood inside the body. So these 5 winds collectively also influences the physical and mental well-being of a person. So what we can see in broad, that 3 kinds of, we have doshas, that is wind, bile and mucus. 3 kinds of gunas, that is virtue, passion and dullness, and 5 kinds of wind. These are the ones that are largely responsible for the health of an individual as per the ancient Indian system of medicine. And also Charak Samhita clearly says that all these balances can be disturbed and can be affected by the imbalance of food. If someone is taking unhealthy food, someone is taking very oily or very So Charak Samhita also says that all this depends on the quality of food that a person is taking. If a person is taking very healthy food, then he will have balance of all these parameters or all these factors in such a way that his health will be in good shape. However, if one is taking bad foods, bad quality food, then he will have problems. His all these parameters will be imbalanced, factors will be unbalanced and can cause health problems. So what we can say in conclusion, so in the words of Wendy Doniger, as he has said that the Shastras of India, does not matter which Shastra we talk about, they strive to be very open-minded and inclusive in nature. And it is due to this point, from this context we can understand that in Charak Samhita there is a discussion that where a sage had says that not until you shake off the torpor of factionalism from what you want to know will true knowledge emerge. That means rather than looking at any problems or any solutions from one single-minded view, you have to be very open and should be willing to accept all the ideas of different individuals, different personalities as well. And once you are open, once you have opened your mind, then only the true knowledge or the truth will finally emerge. So that is all about this particular issues as well as what the Charak Samhita is all about. So I hope you understood about this issue. Thank you very much.